image is in that sunbeam. There it is, that little tiny speck of light. That's the Earth. And he says, he's beautifully eloquent, and he says, every person who's ever lived on, every general, every religious leader, every lover, every child, every grandparent, everyone you've ever known, everyone you've ever hated, everyone you've ever loved, everyone lived on that tiny speck of light suspended in a sunbeam. And that's what we're all fighting over, right? In these wars, we're fighting over a fraction of a dot. That's what we're fighting over. And just the madness of it, when you look at it from a cosmic perspective, is baffling. And that's why I love astronomy. It is said to be the ultimate humbling experience.
How about, I know, again, you're not a geologist, but how about, again, the worries about some of these volcanoes? Like when you think about, the volcano in, Rob, what's the name of it? In Yellowstone, right?
Yeah.
What's the name of the volcano? There's a name for the volcano.
The caldera?
The caldera, right. How about the caldera where, it has erupted 3 times. I think one of them was 2.1 million years ago, 1.3 million years ago, and 640,000 years ago. And we're overdue for it to erupt again. And every time it erupts, some 80% of America gets destroyed every time it's erupted, right?
It's a bad day.
Huh? It's a rough day when that happens. What is, what is the influence with what we're experiencing right now? We're man-made. Like, we can screw it up for it to erupt once again. Do you think about that?
I don't think there's anything we're doing that's affecting that. That's just going to do its own thing and go off.
Whether you like it or not.
Yeah, I don't think we have any control over that. It's frustrating, but there's no way we can influence that right now. But the thing is with these, like, we're overdue. It's the same with meteors. People say, okay, we're overdue for a dinosaur killing asteroid at this point. But the thing is, we're overdue. If you go to the casino, right, you probably gambled and gone to Vegas sometimes and played a few hands, and the gambler's fallacy, right? So if you win, if you lose a few hands in a row, or win a few hands in a row, you might think, well, therefore I'm due for the opposite behavior to happen at this point.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's a fallacy. Like, statistically, if I roll a dice and I get a 6, it has no bearing as to whether I roll a 6 next time or not. It's completely disconnected. Now, over enough time, these events will accumulate, but I certainly don't think that the fact that it hasn't happened for a long time should make you any more scared. If it had just happened yesterday, you should be just as scared of it happening tomorrow as if it had not happened for 10,000 years or 100,000 years. So the risk is the same in every single point of these kind of totally random events like this.
So you're suggesting everybody stop listening to the podcast and go to the casino right now. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
And if they lose, keep playing. Don't worry about it. It's gonna. Good things are around the corner.
It's not exactly what I said, but you sure.
That's kind of how I took it, folks. Listen, get off the podcast, go to the local casino. So this is a part of, like, look, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. There's nothing we can do about it. But again, we as civilization, we as people, we there's a part of us that likes the next. Oh my God, what if? What's going to happen? It's like you going. You should never go into that building. All right, guys, let's go into that building. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what's inside it.
Right.
That cave right there. If you go into that cave, rumor has it, 19 bears have lived there. And over 728 people have been killed in that cave the last 20 years. Do not go there. However, a lot of people do go there because there's around $700 million of gold all the way at the end. But I'm telling you, don't do it. David, we got to go.
We got to do it.
It's something about this.
Well, the haunted houses, you see these people who go around these crazy, insane asylums in the middle of night, and you're thinking, like, why are you doing this to yourself?
Right? Yeah, it's the commercials. You're like, do not go into the garage. The kid goes into the garage. But no, I think, have you seen a simulation on the caldera? Have you seen a simulation on the eruption?
I don't think I have.
Rob,
no.
do you have a simulation worth watching on what it would look like? I mean, see if you can find a short one, not one of the bigger ones, because the bigger ones I have.
But it's a pretty terrifying prospect, I imagine.
Have you ever walked on a volcano?
I've been to Yellowstone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
and we've climbed a couple of volcanoes before. Yeah.
I walked an active volcano in Hawaii 10 years ago. My wife told me not to do it. I went there with a guy named Jose, with a guy named John, and a couple other people. Lexi, and I want to say Amy was with us. Yeah, and we went there.
It
was like the lava was right in front of us. It was right in front of us, and you're looking at it. And the lady in the morning said, "You got to get there at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, or else the ranger's not going to let you through." So we got there very early, and then we made it past the ranger, and he says, "Don't do it." And he says, "If you smell something that smells like this and it starts raining, turn around. It's not good for you to be there." And then he says, "On the volcano you're walking, if you step on it and if it capsules, like if it breaks, you're dead, because it just sucks you in." One of our guys, Jose, we're walking. At this point, we've been walking for 5 hours. He's stepping on black, dry volcano at this point. He steps, all we hear is, and you see the rain and the smell comes. We look at each other, the lava's right in front of us. Okay, and it's such a beautiful thing to see.
Mesmerizing.
Oh my God, it's such a beautiful thing to see. Super hot. It's so confusing with everything that's going on. And we said, "Guys, it's probably a good idea for us to just turn around, to just get out of here." And that's exactly what we did. We said, "Let's make it." Did you find one, Rob, or not? Just play the second one right there.
Sounds like walking on an icy lake, like we hear that.
Yeah,
cracks.
exactly.
Yeah.
Not that one. The one below it, Rob. The one below it, the simulation. Right? Is that the one you clicked on? Yeah, you can put this on 2.0. This is just an example of saying when it happens, and you got to drive away.
Look at that. It's like a nuclear bomb's going off.
Seriously. So now he's driving away. Right? And he
He's
gets
catching
bigger
up, yeah.
and bigger and bigger, and now it's chasing you. Oh my God!
It's like a Dante's Peak, right? Is that
Yeah, that's right, Dante's
the movie?
Peak.
Yeah, same kind of thing.
I mean,
that's Hollywood right there.
That is Hollywood at the highest level, and you're seeing the explosives. No matter how far you get, it just keeps getting closer and closer to him. By the way, there's an image that shows if this volcano was to erupt, how far out its reach would be. Rob, can you pull up that image on the reach, what it would be? It's just worth knowing. Guys, we just want to make your day a little bit more smoother, less things to worry about. Look at this here.
Oh, I'm all right. I'm in New York. We're fine.
You're going to be all right. By the way, look at us. We barely miss it in Miami, okay, in South Florida. We are barely, Rob, that's Pompano. Pompano gets hit. We don't get hit, right? And Houston is safe. Everybody else.
So what is yellow? Is that you're safe or not?
Yeah, go to see what the different things means.
Thickness in millimeters for the ash that's going to be in the atmosphere.
Ooh, okay, so you're coughing all in that region, basically. Yeah, you've got serious breathing problems.
What does blue mean, Rob? Is it telling you anything, or is it just the thickness of ash? Holy shit!
Thickness, and I believe that's millimeters.
Well,
that's like
1 to 3.
Yeah, that's like Pompeii levels of bad day right there, right? You've got people encased in ash.
It's a bad day. It's definitely qualified as a bad day if you go through something like this. You don't want to be stuck in a thing like this.
Yeah.
What's this, Rob?
The same thing. It's just showing the impact zone if the caldera volcano erupted.
I would say don't obsess about these things, right? You can obsess about. There's so many.
No, we
threats.
want to. We want to obsess because
there's meteors, there's gamma ray bursts, there's supernovae.
Which one's worth obsessing about? Which one's worth obsessing about? Any one of these guys?
I think trying to enjoy your life's worth obsessing about.
That's what it is.
Right?
I love it.
Yeah.
What a great mentality to have. So, folks, enjoy your life. Go to Yellowstone. Take a vacation there, right? Go walk over the volcano and see what you can do with it. But let me talk to you about another thing. You ever seen the movie Interstellar?
Oh, I love that film.
Okay, so I love it as well. I remember who I watched. I don't remember where we were. We were in the most random place. We could have been in Baltimore, some weird place. We watched the movie and you leave, and you're like, let me go online. Wormhole, this.
Yeah.
So, well, what about this? Can we really talk? Can you really talk to dead people? I mean, it's just like the PG-13 version of Ouija board. Can you go out there and do this? So, one, fiction. Two, how real is it for somebody like you?
Interstellar had a physicist, Kip Thorne, work with Chris Nolan to try and make the science as legit as they really could. So I have a lot of respect for the filmmaker because they actually, really tried hard to keep it hard science fiction, which I think is, I always enjoy that kind of stuff. Of course, the end of the movie when, he's like traveling through a black hole and then ends up somehow somewhere else. I mean, that's a little bit odd. The whole thing that love is the solution for everything. I mean, that's a bit romanticizing. There's no real physical mechanism behind any of that kind of stuff. But it made for a fantastic movie. But the stuff like, the time dilation factors, when they're on Miller's planet in that, with the ocean, where they're walking through the ocean bit. I think every 1.5 seconds, you can hear it in the movie track. It was like do, 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 and that was like the background bass. And every 1.5 seconds, there was a bump, and that was 1.5 seconds on the planet corresponded, I think, to 1 year back on Earth due to the time dilation effect. And so that was all figured out by Kip Thorne, like that rate and the orbit and the factors and the calculations were all like based off real math. So, you know, you can learn a lot from that movie. It's not totally on point, but it tries to take as few cheats as it can.
Okay, so let me ask you: is there a do you believe there's a possibility or the technology for one day, you know, your mom's no longer here, your dad's no longer here, will you be able to talk to them and have a conversation with them? Do you think there's a possibility?
Like reverse time travel?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's probably prohibited. So, you know, Stephen Hawking worried about this a lot. He actually held famously a party. It was like in 2010, 2006, something like this. He had a party. He didn't tell anybody about it. He had a party just by himself, and it was the time travelers party for time travelers to come to.